Hello, what I'm seeing is kind of like crappy camera footage, so I don't know how you guys are seeing me. Uh, Sorry I haven't been on video. I was supposed to do another video Wednesday before. Hold on. Sorry. I had to restart my computer. On the Steven Universe reaction, you will get 3 through 5 very soon, or 2 through 5 very soon, if I didn't do number 2 already. As well as the Marlon Brando thing, when I actually was uploading it, when my computer decided to crap out, and it was on the day of us leaving for vacation, because the week of Steven Universe's most recent Steven Bomb, I actually went on vacation. I'm officially home now, but lots of stuff has happened since then, and I'm still very busy with other things. In fact, today I'm waiting for something to happen, or for something in an hour or so. It's Comic-Con week. Now, the only thing I've officially seen is the Titans trailer for the DC Universe's website's new show, Titans, which is going to take a grittier take on the Teen Titans, which I am actually okay with. Sorry for any side sounds or whatnot. It has been pouring off and on here since 11 o'clock in my time, and yeah. Anywho, and that is about it. I haven't seen anything. I know that the new character was revealed for the new Aquaman movie. I know that the Steven Universe is going to be coming sooner than we thought, because we have the next episode, which doesn't have a date, but it has its title. I would go check Roundtable. I would go check Steven Universe Wikia, as well as two of the pages from the Star vs. the Forces of Evil spellbook, which we got backdated to September. And it was the Star and Eclipse pages which actually look awesome. Now, like I said, I will be uploading the Marlon Brando pretty soon, as I get my internet back, or my browser back up, as well as I will be doing a reaction video as soon as I get that and this one all set up for uploading wise, because I'm going to be having some links to put in. And I gotta go back and find stuff, or go and look for stuff for all the links. So please, people, look at the links today. Another show that I am an avid fan of is American Horror Story. Surprisingly enough, and it draws a line for me on how gritty it is. Actually, I just saw the trailer for Assassination Nation, I think it's called, and that is like drawing the line. Like, it's worse than Purge and almost as bad as American Horror Story with the gritty violence wise. I love American Horror Story, but it is just low with some things. Like, which I will get into later, but that just takes it a whole new turn on realistic viewpoints with Assassination Nation. I know there's a Walking Dead trailer up. I am not seeing it yet. I won't be seeing it until probably either later today, if not by Sunday, the latest, depending on how much coverage we get, because of what we used to see, or how we used to watch stuff, is Conan O'Brien and Chris the guy from Talking Dead. So, because Talking Dead's gone and it's just Conan, well, not Talking Dead, but the host from that is probably not going to be doing anything this Comic-Con year. It's pretty much been me finding stuff out through IMDb and trying to see if I can find stuff on YouTube. Also, I know there's the new Doctor Who's a newer trailer, because there was just a short one uploaded recently, and I already saw that and showed that to my cohort in Comic Universe crime. But this is about American Horror Story. I just want to get you guys caught up on what I know. And also, if you see this, just a little bit of an ear problem, I'm okay. Nothing's hurting me or aggravating me. It's just my ear feels comfortable with it there. Again, if you hear any other noises, it has been pouring off and on. If it sounds more computer-like, it's because I don't know where the microphone is on this stupid thing, and I like to make sure it's elevated, because it's already on one thing, and I'm elevating it from that thing, so it doesn't overheat. So we got the official title for season 8's American Horror Story called Apocalypse. Now, supposedly this one is going to be the tie-in that we heard about previously. Well, actually, I just heard about it with everything. With season 1 and season 3 of American Horror Story, Coven and Murder House. Not in that order. But there was also a theory that I kind of saw, but it's like I had heard about the tie-in theory with all the places, and then soon after that, the 7 gates or circles of hell, which actually intrigued me. Now, the thing about American Horror Story, which I will get into, is my history with it. It's just almost that came up around the same time as Once Upon a Time, so that was 2 series that I started watching around the same time. But first, let's get into now back in 2017, July of 2017, Brian Murphy, which I think he's the creator, posted on his Twitter blog, whatever, that the 7 gates of hell or 9 circles of hell is going to be associated with American Horror Story each season. Now, if you want to know about the circles of hell, and you're not you're not as avidly Christian, I would definitely go take a look at Dante's Inferno's first portion, which is the Divine Comedy's first book. I'm going to have a link to someone who actually explains it sarcastically, but very clearly in the book, for the first book as well as the other 2, but I'm just going to link in the first one. Go take a look at their channel. They do a lot of literature, mythology, and history, all sarcastically. And it is amazing. But because I do not really have a lot of time to be explaining all 9 circles of hell, let alone I never really got into that when I was growing up until years later when I was a teenager. So we also have another confirmed season that we're going to be getting, which is going to be season 9, which would associate 9 circles of hell, which could make it either end or possibly even keep continuing, but in a different way. We won't know. It's kind of like the whole Pokemon thing. Are they going to stop after they do this all 12 zodiac signs with the fire starters, or what? Which I honestly think is an interesting theory, but I don't know if that's true. So the first season is Murder House, and it is associated with the first circle of hell, which isn't really a circle, it's limbo, which makes sense for the series, as well as because everyone's stuck. Like when the whole thing with the teenage daughter, I can't remember names right now, so don't yell at me in the comments section, but when we found out the daughter died, after one attempt of taking her own life, and which they kind of pushed us away from, but they were slightly hinting at throughout the rest of the series after that point, until the very end when we found out she did die, and she's been stuck in the house, which is why she can't really leave the house, or we never saw her out of the house. The second season, which was Asylum, was the 8th circle of hell, which is fraud, which is still a common thing today, but it totally made sense for this series. As well as its following one, which was Coven, which was the final circle of hell, which is treachery, which is supposedly the worst circle of hell. I don't blame them, though I would think a lot of other ones are bad. The 4th season of American Horror Story Freak Show was the 4th circle of hell, ironically, which is greed. And then the 5th season was Hotel with Gluttony. Now, a lot of people thought it was lust. I probably would have gone that direction too, but it actually is greed, which is the 3rd circle of hell. Roanoke is the 5th circle of hell. Anger, which you would think that anger and violence is one the same kind, like the 7 deadly sins is wrath, but I guess not. You can be angry without being violent. And then the most recent season was a circle called the 6th circle of hell, which is hearsay, which is what cult is, and that honestly I didn't even realize that with how I learned about Dante's Inferno, but it totally makes sense. Especially with how our political system is today. If you are Republican or for Trump, please leave your comments to yourself, because this is open and understanding, but he's not exactly my favorite person right now. Anyway, the only 2 circles we haven't seen are violence and lust, which is actually the second Circle of Hell and the seventh Circle of Hell. Now, with Apocalypse, I kind of feel like they're going to go towards violence and leave Lust for season 9, but we still don't know for sure. There's also possibilities of who's coming back, especially since this season might be the crossover between 1 and 3. So pretty much this is going to be something I'm going to be very interested in. I believe it starts September, so we've still got like a month and a half, maybe 2 months, give or take. I think they said September 12th, maybe, so a little less than 2 months. Hi. Me. Do you want to come up and be on the TV? Or on the computer? And shoot. Anyway, like I said, I was going to go into how I know about American Horror Story. I don't know if I've done any previous videos about this, so this will be the first one if I haven't. Season 1 started either the summer I graduated or the fall, literally right after, which is 2011. I've been with this season off and on. Pretty much the first season we kind of all started watching, me and my family together, but in the end it was just me and my dad who actually finished watching it. And then I left for something for most of the year, so I missed season 2. Now I don't know. And then I had to play catch up with season 3. Now my dad has suggested not to watch season 2 and just watch season 3, which I actually took his advice at the time. And then with Freak Show, that was really got us interested. But then it started drawing a line with what you should watch with your dad, and especially your dad and daughter. Now, some parents they don't care once their kids come of age. Some parents are like, no, this is weird, and that actually happened with us when season 5 started with Hotel, and then also we couldn't even watch Penny Dreadful together either, where I finished watching, but my dad never really watched it. So pretty much, and then I continued watching it, season 5, sometime later, like, I don't know how much later. And when I found out that season 6 was coming around and with all these little trailers, which I'll tell you, the one that had the screaming spider freaked me out. I actually ended up starting to watch it, and then I was hooked back in again. And then right before season 7 started, I believe I went back and watched season 2, and I agree with my dad, that is the most gruesome of all seasons. But I definitely am glad I went back to watch it, because otherwise I would not understand the whole concept with now the series of the connections. Now, obviously, they are all connected, where possibly certain characters are repeating lives throughout all circles of hell, depending on who's in what. Such as because there might be possibilities of certain people coming back, such as one of our longest running actors, the Rubber Man's Tate something or other. He's been in every single season, I believe. There's only certain people that are in every single season, and then others that pop up maybe for a couple episodes but don't stay for a full season, and so on and so forth. Now, like I said, I actually have been an avid fan. The only thing you could say that could make me unavid is that I didn't watch season 2 until years later, and that I actually paused at season 5 before I start, and then caught back up, so that way I could understand season 6. Because we only got our official confirmation that all the seasons are connected just last year, but everyone's been thinking of this probably since season 5, maybe even season 3, when we got the first connection with the character Pepper in between seasons 2 and 3. And so on and so forth, outside of that certain people keep playing different characters but are in every single season. I'm hoping that this Apocalypse thing is going to actually be really good, and again, I believe it's going to be violence over lust, and I really believe that. If they do lust instead and say violence for last, I don't know what they could do. I mean, they've done almost everything that you could possibly think of outside of sci-fi with this series. Like murder, I mean, this is all sorts of genre, I mean, in the genre of horror, all sorts of things you could do, like the Murder House. That's like every single horror film that takes place in one place or relatively close to that destination, such as Scream. Most of the killing ended up being at their house in the first film, at the one house. Asylum is the horror doctor kind of thing, while Coven is the witch genre, which we have seen throughout the years. Freak Show is actually, I think, a reboot of a old movie that was done years ago that actually I found from a video of like what movies are banned in what countries, which mainly I only was looking at because The Man Who Laughs is what is based off of the Joker's appearance. If I can find that, I'll link it. And then with Hotel, that one I think is more or less like the ghost horror part of the genre, while Roanoke is like the gritty, I'm gonna say almost like the Hills Have Eyes kind of thing. And Cult is the realistic political viewpoint as well, actually, which is what I kind of associate Cult with the Purge series, as well as now this Assassination Nation. I mean, this seriously they all look the exact same in my eyes. They look like real time with the dark and gritty thoughts of without any hope, what America is becoming. Purge kind of did that, but it has slight slivers of hope in it, with certain characters still surviving, especially with the final Purge election year. Spoilers, sorry. And then I haven't seen the sequel for the series, and then this Assassination Nation, I don't believe is gonna have a silver lining at the end of it. I just think it's gonna be scary and traumatizing for certain people, and then eye-opening for others. With this apocalypse, they could go in like where 28 Days Later could have gone, minus the sickness. Like, I really don't know. Or maybe even the Omen, with how Omen 3, with how that, or maybe even Omen 1 through 3 with this apocalypse. Because if it is going to be a crossover between seasons 1 and 3, involving one of the satanic children, which was Vivian and Tate's, aka Rubberman's demon baby child, something or other. I don't know. But I'm hoping that this is going to be a good season. I'm looking forward to a season that's going to involve lust. Yes, Hotel could have been lust with all of its... Actually, that's the reason why me and my dad had to pause, and then I continued it, but that was, sometime later, and he dropped it. But I guess it is gluttony, because of that. It's not the lust of sexuality, but the lust of, or the love of certain objects, such as food, blood, drugs, money, alcohol, etc. Well, maybe not money, but still. Definitely the booze and drugs. And blood. But mainly the fact of the matter is, I'm really looking forward to seeing what they're going to do for that. If that's what this apocalypse season is, I really cannot wait to see what this is going to look like when we finally get an official trailer. Because you know how they were with season 6, with all that trying to re-wrap us around, where only 1 or 2 of the trailers were actually legit, such as the bone chimer, bone baby mobile thing. That was the one. They said there was only 1, but I think maybe there might have been 2. I don't know, but that was just so interesting how they did that and tried to fool everybody. With the violence one, every season's violent. I'll say that much. But if you take violence to the next level, that could go purge violence. Or even, I guess maybe 28 days or 8 weeks later violence. Or any of all these other things where you have if you take zombies and just actually give them brains, where they're not dead. Or at least take zombies but don't make them dead. I think a few movies have actually done that through the years. I know there was one that I can't remember its name for, but where they're actually not really dead, but they act like they're dead, or they act very violently once unprovoked. Now, with that being said, I am going to take a break because I've got a half hour before I have to deal with my other stuff. I will be uploading everything between now and Sunday. So I'm hoping to do the Marlon Bundo video first, or that whole video first, since that's actually done, and I just have to properly upload it while doing this next, and then making my Steven Universe video probably tomorrow morning at earliest, if not later today, and actually making sure that I actually find out which reactions I actually did. The only other update I can say is I did officially watch Black Panther, but I have not seen Infinity War, but I do know some stuff. I'm trying to keep my mouth shut around my dad because this is our thing, and I don't like spoilers. I really don't like spoilers with him. I don't like telling him spoilers, even though I hint at things. And I'm hoping he realizes eventually, but because we had a long beginning of summer, it felt like I didn't even have a summer until the first week of July. I'll tell you that much. This is Alex signing off. Click like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys later. Later. Comment down below what your favorite season is. Mine, I'm gonna have to say, is actually Hotel, ironically enough. It's a three-way tie between Coven, Hotel, and Freak Show. Why? Coven, I love the witch thing, though with the way this series is, it's hard to actually pick favorites compared to, like, least favorites. And that's not saying that the series is bad, it's just, like, how much can you take? How much gory stuff and sexual stuff and violent stuff and actually really thinking about it, this could be the real world kind of stuff. Or history stuff, even. Take season 5, for example. A lot of the killers were actually real killers in history. The only one you can't say is Jack the Ripper. Anywho, Freak Show, because that was the first one I really got back into it. Coven was good, but I didn't get really back into it until Freak Show. And then Hotel, I just love how it ended. It just felt good to me how it ended. That's why that one's my favorite season. Plus it has Lady Gaga, which is bonus. Anyway, I'm gonna end it here. It's already been 22 minutes, and if you've lasted this long, thank you. I'm trying to want to keep my stuff shorter, but that doesn't always happen. I will hopefully do the Steven Universe video soon, and I will upload everything once I get situated. Bye!